Which I almost did, now I'll put it everywhere.
Okay.
Is
All right.
a good spot? Should I
That's great.
Can you stand up?
Oh, I like this. I like that you're behind me.
get right underneath the light
You can
right there?
stand up.
Is it too tall if you stand?
No.
Okay. I feel like it's
Do you
better
want to
if
set a
stand.
timer for like 30 minutes
Yeah.
on your phone?
I'll do a watch.
Fancy.
No, it goes by so fast.
Oh, yeah.
First one we did was
Time.
way
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And so we're gonna do the questions kind of
Jill,
in
I'm gonna
here,
switch it
some
over
of
to
what we're
sides.
talking about here, and then we'll.
Is anybody else supposed to come?
Nothing. It's just
Okay,
us.
the card just pulled
Yours
up.
That's good.
It was
Okay,
That's not Jordan.
He
is
just
it?
started, so
No.
are y'all ready?
Sorry, I was.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
Okay, so are you starting now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey.
Welcome. Well, we're a
Thank
little
you.
delayed started because we were all so mesmerized at picking out our ultimate ring. We had said that was something fun we were going to do. We're showing you those at the very end. But we're going to get started and introduced our Roundtable crew tonight. You know, the Fresh Ink people. But I'm going to let our Albritton's friends introduce and welcome us to their new spot.
Sure. Hi guys, I'm Cameron Albritton. I'm president here at Albritton's Jewelry. Got our lovely associate Lauren Fordyce here. Knows her stuff, so she's a great person to come talk to if you need any help with rings or, of course, any jewelry related items. So.
And so we're here in their new building, which we did a little tour of a few weeks ago, but it is gorgeous. Everything sparkles everywhere you turn. There are 100,000 things to choose from. You have to come by and see it. It's a stone's throw from where y'all used to be.
Yes.
So it's very close by. But we're gonna hop into some of our questions just to kind of get things rolling, and then at the end, we're gonna give you some really close-up, fabulous views of some rings that we thought were lovely. And I'm so excited about. This is so fascinating to me, this part of the kind of, you know, couple's journey. And we talk about this all the time, how people call us before they come look at invitations, and they're like, well, y'all helped me with my invitations, and, you know, could you help my friend? She's coming in. I'm going to tell her that she's on the way. And it's something that people are so nervous about. It's the first time they've done it. They don't know what they're doing. And to just kind of have them feel like they know y'all a little bit or us a little bit in our arena just makes people so much more comfortable. And I think that's a great way to kind of, you know, say that we do things similarly. So y'all being the jewelry people for people to know and have a little in with.
Absolutely, yeah.
But some of our questions to get us started were, one thing we talked about initially when we were brainstorming kind of some things for this were, you know, how is like a local jewelry store different than a chain? So what are some of the benefits of working with somebody local, whether it's like short term or long term, and what are some of the differences in local businesses or chains?
I can help you out with that. Well, there's a lot of differences. First thing, local business is going to be able to cater what they offer to their clients a lot better than a chain will. Chains typically do a lot of market research, which is great, but the problem with that is they tend to kind of streamline all of their stores. So everything that they offer, if you go into one, for instance, say K Jewelers or someone like that, you're going to go to another one, you're going to see pretty much the same stuff from store to store. Another thing about locals versus chains, I would say, is locals typically are going to have a little bit more educated people that work for the business. They typically last longer within a local store because they actually have more of a relationship with the ownership, things like that. Owners are typically more involved, obviously, in local stores than they would be in chains. So you typically have less employee turnover in local stores than you do chains. So I'd say that's one of the aspects. You're going to see the same friendly faces every time you come into Albritton's, whereas certain chain stores, it could be a different person every time you walk in there. It's hard to establish a relationship with a chain store, I would say, as compared to a local store would be my main.
And a lot of times too, like if I know that I've been working with a customer and I'm not gonna be here, I've informed one of my other colleagues, they know, so I can tell my customer, I'm not gonna be here, but you can come in and ask for Cameron, Stuart, and anyone can.
Because it can be
help you.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we try to make sure they're always taken care
yeah,
of.
I mean, not only if you're engagement ring shopping, but it's, you know, whatever you're purchasing, it's
Yeah.
intimidating to come in and to just have somebody that you
We're
know
not
is kind of expecting.
I bet
We
it's the
try.
same with just, I mean, online in general, like that, the market changes so much with things online, but you could tell that it's probably more like heavily about marketing and
Sure.
more about technology in that field. Same with,
Sure.
you know, within our field as well, so, but it's like, you know, we're gonna walk you step by step, line by line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same way with this, it's like,
Educate you on what you're about to spend a
Yeah.
lot of money on.
And that's a big thing. I mean, we are not just selling, you know, pretty small items. A lot of the items we're selling are quite expensive. And so, you know, most folks are, as you can say, they can be intimidated to come into a jewelry store. Because number one, a lot of times, especially with guys, they don't know a whole lot about what they're about to come buy, other than kind of what their girlfriend or someone has kind of pointed them in that direction. And it's a lot of money. And so for guys, it can be stressful because they're saying to themselves, I'm about to spend a lot of money on this. I don't even know if this is exactly what she wants. And if I present this to her, you know, guys want the reaction from their girlfriend or significant other. And, you know, when they don't get it and they spend all that kind of money, that's another nerve-wracking thing I would think a lot of guys feel when they come in here. So we try to make it as comfortable as possible for them when they come by.
Well, you know, that was like, we were talking one time about how do you guys show up in here to look engaged? Because I just wish I could be a fly on the wall and see them come in, you know, do they just come in and be like, oh, I need to look at a ring?
Yeah.
Or
A lot
do
of times
they-
they're like really shy. And like the girls always like, tell them.
is that what you did with Paul? Did you pick it out or did he?
He picked it out.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go. Yeah, that's
He did.
wonderful.
Do they ever just say, I'm just looking?
Oh,
Like,
all the
Yeah, and
time.
then they're here for like a while, and we're like,
All the
is there
time.
anything in particular?
Is there any particular thing this is for?
So you would advise them to just come on out with it.
Yeah,
And be
just come on
like,
out, don't be-
I am looking for an engagement ring.
Yeah.
Yes, don't be bashful is what I
Don't be
would say. We're very friendly, no matter what your budget is, we're happy to work with you. So that's one thing about us, you know, I've heard in the past that we have, you know, got a little bit of a reputation for maybe being an expensive store, something like that. And yes, we do have some very expensive items, but we can tailor your item to really whatever your budget is. So that's one thing we do a really good job of. I don't know if everybody knows that, but like, you know, I've sold a $500 engagement ring, and I've sold a $40,000 engagement ring. And either way, we can make it work and handle it for you. It's
And
not
we're
a
gonna try and
problem.
help
It's easy
you
to do.
out too, and work with you on all different ranges of what you're needing and everything. So I've always feel like proud of how we can handle a lot of different
Mhm.
Sure.
Well,
ranges.
so segueing into that, we get this phone call a lot of Fresh Ink. We get to the phone, Fresh Ink, this is Elizabeth, can I help you? I just wanted to find out like about what wedding invitations cost.
Yeah.
What do invitations cost, just like about? And we're like, oh my gosh, it's like
Such
such
a
a loaded question.
Yes.
But, you know, what we've gotten to where when we are initially meeting with people is we tell them kind of just some budget categories.
Yep.
And so we'll say, you know, this category would be, would you be more comfortable in like the $2 to $4 a piece range,
Sure.
you know, this range or this range? And what they don't know is that a lot of times they can get something that looks very expensive. Maybe they like a typography or, you know, something about an invitation that doesn't have to be, you know, printed in the most expensive way. So maybe
Sure.
it's kind of the same with a ring.
Yep.
Like, what do you find when people come in, just if, I know if you got the inevitable question, what do engagement rings cost? Or, you know,
Sure.
how do you even tell
Yeah.
people brackets, or what do you see in our market?
Well, I would say, you know, we do get that question, number one. That's usually someone who hasn't done much research, which the vast majority of guys that come in here haven't done too much research. But, you know, some have done more than others. Most people have no idea, though. A lot of times they just call and say, what does a 1 carat diamond ring cost? Well, that can be all over the board. And so we kind of try to do the same thing. We say, okay, listen, what are you looking for? You want 1 carat ring? Do you want a solitaire? Do you want something that's a little bit more dressed up, a little bit more detailed? And sometimes they know what they're looking for. Other times, they're like, well, geez, I don't know, I need to ask her. But once we kind of get a ballpark on where they want to be, we can give them ranges, essentially, telling them, hey, this will give you a nice quality stone. You're not going to see anything with the naked eye. No body color to the stones. It's going to look nice and white. Things like that. But we try to give them a range and say, listen, if you come in and sit down, we can actually explain it and show you the differences
Yeah.
versus just saying, this stone's going to cost $2,000 more than this one. Well,
Right.
that doesn't mean much until you actually can lay eyes on the piece.
Yeah.
And so that's one way we kind of handle that when customers come in asking, hey, what's this going to cost me? Or
So
where do
just
we
tell us
start?
some numbers, like, because that's what people want to know. I mean, I'm just asking what people
Well,
want to
yeah,
know.
sure. Well, engagement rings are gonna, they can, well, again, like I said, they can be all over the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
I would say, let's put it this way, one of the chains that we are familiar with, they do a lot of market research. One of the things they discovered was the average engagement ring usually is run between $3,000 and $5,000. Now for us, we're a little bit higher in store, so I would say our average is probably higher than that, probably somewhere in the 5 to 10 range is probably what we average on our engagement ring sales. But it doesn't mean that we certainly couldn't service someone in that price range. So that's kind of what I would say. I'd say you've got ballpark ranges anywhere from the low thousands kind of coming into it. You want to spend probably